The old wooden sign, faded by years of sun and rain, still read Khalil's Hardware, building futures one nail at a time. But for Hassan Khalil, the future he envisioned wasn't just about nails and timber. It was about connecting futures, literally and metaphorically, for the divided town of Oakhaven. Hassan, a final-year civil engineering student with a quiet determination that belied his youthful appearance, often found himself staring across the murky expanse of the River Sinus. On one bank lay the historic district, the Heights, with its quaint shops, well-maintained parks, and the town's most prestigious university. On the other, separated by the river and an invisible yet palpable chasm of mistrust, was the Flats, a vibrant, diverse, but often neglected community where Hassan had grown up. The only crossing was an ancient, rickety iron bridge, crumbling at its edges, prone to flooding, and a daunting barrier for pedestrians and cyclists. For many, the Flats might as well have been a different city. Hassan knew the narratives well. The Heights saw the Flats as a place of trouble, noise, and otherness. The Flats saw the Heights as elitist, uncaring, and exclusive. Stereotypes had fossilized over generations, fueled by minor incidents blown out of proportion and a profound lack of genuine interaction. The seed of his idea had been planted during a particularly harsh winter flood. The old bridge had been closed for weeks, isolating the Flats. A child from his neighborhood, needing specialized medical care available only at the hospital in the Heights, had faced a harrowing, hours-long detour. That day, Hassan, watching the furious river, understood. The physical barrier amplified the social one. His final-year project, he decided, wouldn't just be a theoretical exercise. It would be a bridge. A real one. He spent months immersed in design, sketching elegant arches, calculating load bearings, and researching sustainable materials. He envisioned a pedestrian and cycle bridge, sleek, modern, and sturdy, a symbol of connection rather than division. He called it the Unity Span. His engineering professor, Dr. Anya Sharma, initially viewed his ambition with a mixture of admiration and skepticism. "A remarkable design, Hassan," she'd said, tapping his blueprints. "The technical aspects are sound. But the political, social, and financial, those are the real challenges. You're not just building a bridge, you're building trust in a divided town." Hassan nodded. He knew. His faith taught him that true service was about uplifting humanity, about mending fractures. This bridge, he felt, was his way of living that teaching. His first step into the metaphorical bridge building began in the Flats. He spoke at the community center, armed with visuals and an unwavering belief. Many listened with polite disinterest. "Another promise," someone muttered. "The Heights will never let it happen." He knew he needed allies. That's when he met Aziza. Aziza Rahman wasn't much older than Hassan, but she carried the weight of years of community advocacy. Fiercely protective of the Flats, she was initially wary. "A bridge? For whose benefit, Hassan?" she'd asked, her arms crossed, eyes scrutinizing him. "More access for them to gentrify us? Or just to make it easier for our youth to cross over and leave?" Hassan listened patiently. "For all of us, Aziza," he replied, his voice calm but firm. "For the kids who need the hospital. For the students who want to cycle to university without fear. For small businesses in the Flats to reach new customers, and for people from the Heights to finally see what a vibrant place this is. It's about dignity and choice and connection." Her skepticism didn't vanish, but a flicker of curiosity appeared. She saw the sincerity in his eyes, the absence of ego. Aziza, with her deep roots and vast network in the Flats, became his first vital connection. She began opening doors, introducing him to community elders, shopkeepers, and youth leaders. Their initial meetings were often tense, filled with grievances. Hassan learned to listen more than he spoke, to acknowledge pain before proposing solutions. Across the river, Hassan sought out Hawa. Hawa Ahmed, a fellow engineering student and a close friend, had a natural warmth and an uncanny ability to connect with people. She lived in the Heights, but her family had moved there from a similar diverse neighborhood in another city, giving her a unique perspective. She saw Hassan's vision immediately. "It's not just concrete and steel, Hassan," she'd said excitedly. "It's hope." Hawa, with her infectious enthusiasm, became Hassan's advocate in the Heights. She joined him in presenting to community groups, residents' associations, and even the local council. She helped him articulate the benefits to the Heights, reduced traffic on the old bridge, safer routes for students, and the potential for new cross-river tourism. The initial resistance was formidable. "Why should our taxes pay for their bridge?" an elderly resident of the Heights bellowed at one public meeting, echoing sentiments Hassan had heard often. "Keep them over there, where they belong," another whispered. Hassan and Aziza countered with statistics. Economic benefits, reduced emergency service response times, improved public health. Hawa emphasized the environmental advantages of a cycle bridge. Slowly, painstakingly, they chipped away at the wall of prejudice. They organized joint planning workshops, inviting people from both sides of the river. Some sessions were awkward, others heated. But gradually, amidst the debates, a common purpose began to emerge. Children from both communities drew pictures of what their unity span would look like. Local artists contributed design ideas. The bridge was no longer just Hassan's dream. It was becoming their bridge. Funding was the next Everest. Hassan compiled a meticulous proposal, detailing costs, timelines, and community engagement. University professors, impressed by his initiative, secured a grant for the design phase. Local businesses, swayed by Aziz's passionate arguments and Hawa's meticulous data, chipped in. A crowdfunding campaign, tirelessly promoted by both communities, raised a surprising amount. "This isn't charity," Aziza declared at a fundraiser. "This is investment in our shared future." The town council, seeing the groundswell of support, finally agreed to match the funds. Construction began a year later, a monumental undertaking that brought the communities together in ways no one had anticipated. Hassan, having graduated and secured a project management role with a small engineering firm, took a leave of absence to oversee the project. He was on site every day, muddy boots and hard hat, working alongside hired professionals and, crucially, a growing army of volunteers from both the flats and the heights. The construction site became a microcosm of Oak Haven's transformation. People from different backgrounds who might never have spoken before now shared tools, joked about sore muscles, and shared flasks of tea during breaks. A plumber from the flats worked beside a retired architect from the heights. A chef from the Heights brought over trays of warm sandwiches for everyone. Children from both sides, once kept apart, played together in supervised areas nearby, their laughter echoing over the sounds of construction. Aziza organized communal meals, ensuring that every volunteer was fed, and using the opportunity for more informal interactions. Hawa coordinated volunteer shifts, managed supplies, and even taught some basic engineering principles to curious teenagers. They were not just building a bridge, they were weaving a tapestry of shared experiences. Of course, there were setbacks. A crucial batch of steel girders was delayed. A sudden spell of heavy rain threatened to stall progress. And then there were the human elements. A dispute between two volunteers, one from each side, escalated quickly, fueled by old stereotypes. "Typical of them," one snapped. "Always trying to take advantage." The project teetered on the brink. Hassan, stepping in, didn't just tell them to stop. He sat them down, away from the others, and spoke softly. "Look around you," he gestured to the half-built structure. "This bridge is for everyone. If we let our differences break us now, then all this work, all this hope, it means nothing. What do you have more of, anger or the desire for a better tomorrow?" Aziza and Hawa joined him, mediating, reminding them of the shared goal, of the families who would benefit. One of the volunteers, Ibrahim, a quiet man from the flats, finally spoke. "My son," he said, looking at the other volunteer. "He cycles to school every day. The old bridge is dangerous. I want this bridge for him, for all our children." The other volunteer, an older woman named Margaret, softened. She saw her own grandchildren in Ibrahim's words. The tension diffused. Slowly, carefully, they resumed work, a silent acknowledgement of their shared humanity. Finally, after 2 years of relentless effort, the unity span stood complete. It was a marvel of modern design, a graceful arc of steel and timber, incorporating elements suggested by the communities. benches for weary walkers, a small covered area for shelter, and subtly integrated artwork depicting the flora and fauna of the Sinos. The dedication ceremony was a celebration like Oakhaven had never seen. Thousands gathered on both banks of the river, a sea of faces from every background imaginable. The mayor, initially a skeptic, spoke eloquently of the bridge as a testament to Oakhaven's spirit. Dr. Sharma beamed with pride. Hassan, his heart swelling with gratitude, stood on the bridge, looking out at the united crowd. "This bridge," he said, his voice carrying clearly, "is more than just concrete and steel. It's a promise. A promise that we can overcome division. A promise that when we work together, with empathy and understanding, we can build anything. It is a symbol of what we can achieve when we choose to connect, when we choose to see our shared humanity over our perceived differences." He looked at Aziza, then at Hawa, sharing a silent moment of triumph. "This is not just Oakhaven's bridge," he concluded. "It is our bridge." Aziza, speaking next, her voice brimming with emotion, added, "This bridge does not ask you where you come from or what you believe. It simply asks you to cross, to meet, to connect." Hawa, her voice cracking slightly, spoke of the journey, the struggles, and the profound joy of seeing a community coalesce around a shared dream. As the ribbon was cut, a wave of cheers erupted. Children from both sides, holding small flags, were the first to cross, running towards each other, embracing their new shared space. Families followed, walking hand in hand, their steps light, their faces etched with wonder and relief. The Unity Span lived up to its name. In the years that followed, the Unity Span transformed Oakhaven. The flats, no longer isolated, thrived. New businesses opened, spurred by increased foot traffic. The Heights discovered the vibrant markets and eateries of the flats, while residents of the flats gained easier access to parks, libraries, and job opportunities across the river. Inter-community events, once rare, became commonplace. Joint festivals, art exhibitions, and even charity runs that started on one side and finished on the other. Hassan Khalil, still a quiet man, became a respected figure in Oakhaven, a testament to the power of vision and perseverance. He continued his engineering career, but his most profound work remained the Unity Span, a physical manifestation of his faith and his belief in humanity. Aziza and Hawa, now close friends, continued their work as community leaders, their partnership strengthened by the trials of the bridge project. They often met on the Unity Span, watching the river flow, a constant reminder of the journey they had taken. The bridge stood, not just as a pathway, but as an enduring monument to the idea that true strength lies not in segregation, but in connection, and that sometimes all it takes is one person brave enough to build a bridge, allowing everyone else to follow. It was a beacon of hope, reminding Oakhaven daily that even the deepest divides could be spanned, one step, one conversation, one shared brick at a time. That will be all for today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. Goodbye.